Welcome back to Miss Letter's calculation station where things add up. This is 2.5 graph of the expense function. We've been working on that on the separate sheet of paper. Now we are going to combine that expense function aspect to it. So we have our expense function. I am going to be using two colors and a highlighter for this episode. I always sound like a dork when I start doing this. So we have our expense. What's the equation for your expense function? You have your price times quantity plus fixed, or you can just say you've got your variable cost and your fixed cost. Now, the E equals PQ plus F really sounds like Y equals MX plus B, which is the equation of a straight line. So our expense function is going to be a straight line, and it should actually be going down, but that's okay. So our expense function is price times quantity plus fixed. Now, the reason why we are finding the intercepts is so that we can have the graphing calculator show the line on there so that we don't have to do as much work. So if we can find the window, then we're able to be able to graph it on the calculator. So to graph on the calculator, we need to find the X and Y intercepts. And the reason for that is if you turn on your calculator to graph, your window is just a 10 by 10. So it goes 10 to the right, 10 to the left, 10 up, 10 down. But as you can see in these formulas, they're ginormous, so you're not going to see the line on there. So we need to find the X and Y intercepts so that we can move the graph so that we can see it. So like we did previously on our worksheet, to find the Y maximum, super simple, it's the fixed price. It's the fixed price. It's B. It's the F. It's the number by itself. So it's the fixed price. And for the second one, to find the X maximum, we're going to plug 0 in for Y, like we did earlier, and then solve. And that's what we practiced on the last worksheet, was we were finding the fixed price and graphing that for the Y intercept, and then plugging in 0 for Y. I have to manually zoom in when I use this program, so I apologize for that. And I know it looks a little blurry. I'm getting better. Look at that. That looks great. All right, so we're going to graph E in terms of price. So we are going to graph E in terms of price. So here's our example. We have $7 each to manufacture. The fixed cost is 28,000. And our demand function is Q equals negative 500p plus 30,000. I'm going to push it up. So $7 to manufacture, fixed cost is 28,000. Our demand function is Q equals negative 500p plus 30,000. And we're going to want to graph the expense in terms of price. We're going to graph the expense in terms of price. Who could give me the expense function in terms of quantity? $7 each to manufacture and the fixed cost. Who could tell me the expense function in terms of Q? 7Q plus 28,000. So $7 each quantity plus 28,000. So there's the expense function in terms of Q. E equals PQ plus F. Remember, Q stays Q. Now, E in terms of P, we're going to do E in terms of price. So 3 steps. We're going to plug in for Q. Distribute. And then combine like terms. I feel your pain. I have that same cough. So now that we've written the equation of expense in terms of quantity, $7 each quantity. So we have PQ plus our fixed cost of 28,000. We can write our expense in terms of price. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in for Q, and that's going to look like this. E equals 7Q plus 28,000. So all I did was take this equation and plug in for Q. And in this case, Q is negative 500p plus 30,000. Then I'm going to distribute that 7. And I get E equals 7 times negative 500 is negative 3,500p. 7 times 3 is 21. Add 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus 28,000. Combine like terms, and so we've got our constants, 210,000 and 28,000. And I have E equals negative 3,500p plus 238,000. What's my Y